Hey guys, welcome to the Cash Flow Talk Deal Makers. Today I'm super excited to have this real estate expert in South Florida. Bank on it. Thank you for being with me, brother.
What's
How
going
are
on,
you?
man? Anytime. Everything's good, man. How are you?
Awesome.
Expert, man. That's funny. That's something that, like one of those terms you don't hear very often anymore because there's not a lot of experts in our industry.
Yeah. But these guys are wholesaler, a rehabber, a landlord, investing in South Florida, Detroit, all over the place. Everything, man.
Yeah.
Right, of course. I have to call you an expert. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me, man.
Anytime.
Awesome. I didn't have my questions with me, so we're just going to talk, like every time we talk. What do you think about the South Florida market today? You're an investor, you're a wholesaler, you flip deals, you've ridden the wave for a long time. What do you think about the market today?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in this market since 2002, so I've seen just about everything. I mean, the ups, the downs, the left, the right. And, I see that now everybody and their brother is a wholesaler.
Oh, yeah.
And I see that the competition out there for deals is pretty hot in South Florida. But the reality of the matter is that goes away in time because, I always say, and I've told you this before, is I only think that you can only do good business, Yeah, you can do business for a while and get lucky and kind of bend the rules here and there, but that's not sustainable. In fact, you've been doing this a little while now too, right?
Yeah, 2010.
I remember Camilo came in my office in 2010. How old were you?
I was 21, 22.
22 years old, and he had this binder, right?
Yeah.
He had a binder, and he was proving that he was doing this and showing all the deals. And now we fast forward 9 years, and you've been in it, and you've been doing it at a high level.
Yeah.
And the only way you could do this business at a high level for a sustained amount of time is to treat people properly. Yeah. Period. And and I'm noticing that a lot of these wholesalers, when I'm going out to look at these properties, because I am a buyer, I do wholesale, but I am a buyer. Yeah. But a lot of times I go to look at these properties and they're not what they say they are. Yeah. And I find that more in South Florida than any other market that we're in. Where I go and look at this property that's a 3.2, 1,400 square foot, and it's a it's a very easy 3.2, and you go in and there's a 4-foot drop into the bedroom, and it's a 2.1, and it's not, so the market here is brisk. To answer your question, it's going fast, and I'm not much worried about all the new wholesalers because they won't be around in a year from now, and I think that South Florida market isn't going away. I think that anybody in the country that talks about real estate thinks about Florida.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that, even traveling to Detroit, every time I go to Detroit, someone says to me, "You coming here from Florida? It's the winter. Are you crazy?" You know what I mean? So everybody loves Florida. So I think we might have a little minor price adjustment. I don't think we're going to see a big crash again. But if we do, we're ready. I mean, that's what we do for a living. We buy when there's unfortunately blood in the streets, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, no problem. Angelo, tell me a little bit about you, about how you started the business, about the struggles, the hard work. Because one thing that I'm doing today, man, is on my YouTube channel. You guys can take a look at it. I'm starting this Friday. It's going to be the first video that is going to be published. It's a new series that I'm doing. It's called Shit Happens. Right. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm tired of the fakers online showing, for example, I know a guy that took out $5,000 from his bank account, all cash, put it in his desk, showing his results, and then putting it back into his account and claiming hey, if you want to make these quick money in 2 minutes or whatever, right, you can do it. I'm tired of the fakers, man. So what I'm doing with these Shit Happens episodes is talking about the shit that happens in business. If you're in business, nothing is easy. So I want to talk about what's hard, what are the struggles that we need to go through, but what did we learn from it, or how do we move on? What has been one of your biggest challenges in business, in growing an office, with employees, with people, lack of cash? What could have been one of your biggest challenges?
So it's funny. Well, first of all, if you follow historically some of the things that I've recorded and put online, that's exactly what I talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. I talk about that, hey, we've talked in front of few hundred people. I mean, I've had it show on TV. We've been around the block. We have had success. And I tell people all the time, listen, I don't mean to ruin your perception of what's going on here, but I didn't come here in a Learjet.
Yeah.
I didn't fly a helicopter here. You know what I mean? Like, I drive a pickup truck. I live a modest life. My currency is the time I get to spend with my family. That's my currency, right? So that's far more important to me than any dollar bill. And it's funny because, your original question was, how did I get started? And this kind of like rides into what I'm about to say. So when my first job out of college, I went to University of Florida. My first job out of college was I was working with a financial planning industry. And I worked for a very good company. And I actually did very well in financial services. I made more money than I had ever seen in my life my first year out of college. But I hated it. I absolutely hated it, man. It was just it wasn't fulfilling for me. I didn't feel like what I was doing was a one-size-fits-all. And, and then I look over, and at the time, I'm watching, my parents and a few other people do real estate, and it's like they got free time, and they're doing this. Like, I'm in the office at 6 a.m., and if I was home by 9 p.m., that was amazing when I was working at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So real quick, I realized that just wasn't for me. Not because I don't like hard work, because what I was building, I was building somebody else's brand.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that just wasn't for me yet, because I was, a young kid. B, I wasn't doing it on my terms. Right? So, I mean, that's entrepreneurship in a sense where, hey, if you get a chance to do things on your own terms, the money is secondary.
Yeah.
Right? The freedom is first.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So fast forward, I meet Gene, get into real estate. We end up forming the bank on it in 2002. To let that sink in, we've been business partners for, 16 years?
Yeah. That's
a long time, especially in our South Florida market, right? Where everyone kind of is shifty and transient and all that, where we've been here for that long. So that's cool, but that leads me into struggles. This is not easy. I was telling you even before when the camera was off that, I think rehabbing houses is easier than wholesaling houses. There's not a guru out there that says that.
Yeah.
Everyone says, oh, wholesaling's easy. You just get something under contract, you flip it. It's no big deal, right? It's just so simple. You literally make money for doing nothing.
Nothing is easy, yeah.
Right? And there's nothing you can do in this world to make money for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, long story short with that is like, it's just not, it's hard and it requires work. And the reason why it's hard is because the payoff is huge. And I'm not just talking the money, the freedom, the ability to coach both my kids in soccer, to dip out at 4 if I need to go do something with my family, to work on a Saturday morning real quick if I need to accomplish something.
Yeah.
That, these are freedoms that you don't get in your corporate jobs.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what makes it all worth it. And in terms of fakers, like we are not, and especially here in our market, we are not, void of fakers. I mean, they're everywhere. I love the leased cars. That's my favorite thing. I see the leased cars and the rented cars that these people use in their videos. It cracks me up, I see people that, started this business in 2012 and been doing it for 2 years and now are gurus and telling us how to do it.
And they don't even own their own home, and they don't even have rental proprities, and they don't. It's crazy, but
yeah. So everything you're saying is true, and unfortunately, I'm gonna give you some foreshadowing, dude. All right. Unfortunately, the older you get, the more cynical you will become. I was much nicer at 25 than I am at 42, right? So I'm at the I don't take no shit stage in my career, you know what I mean? And it's just like either you are or you aren't. And the people that are, I don't mind working with. The people that aren't, move on. And I see listen, I like nice things. I'm a boat guy. I like to fish. But that doesn't define me.
Yeah.
And then the second you let that stuff define you is, it's actually kind of sad, right? Like I feel bad for people who don't, who let that stuff define them. And it gets to the point where they lure people, which is even worse now,
yeah,
right? So then now they
absolutely,
lure people to chase that lifestyle that they haven't even obtained.
Yeah.
Right? Like I mean, let's just take your basic SUV right now. Your basic SUV, like I'm not even talking a Range Rover. I'm not even talking a Cadillac Escalade. I'm just talking Chevy Tahoe.
Okay.
What do you think a Chevy Tahoe costs right now?
50,000?
I mean, 50, that's if you don't want it loaded.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely, yeah.
You
Loaded,
can hit
you can hit 60, 70, yeah.
$70,000, right?
Yeah.
That payment on a $60,000 or $70,000, $800.
Yeah.
$900, right? That's an expensive car.
That's an expensive car.
Right? But people are pushing this like, I know what it takes to have a Lambo.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to have these cars. I can have the car. I choose to have rental properties instead. You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's the kind of thing that, listen, man, if that's your thing and you're a single dude and you just, you hit a 7-figure year, go buy your car cash. Do not rent it, and that's fine, but that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So all this image stuff is it's getting out of hand, and social media and not to sound like an old guy, like get off my lawn, but social media is now giving everybody a voice, and it's not cool. Some people don't need a voice, man, because they're not telling the truth. Shit does happen. So the last part of your question, see how good my memory was what kind of stuff that I come across that has been the biggest challenge?
Yeah, what has been your biggest challenge? And what did you learn from it? Or if you even lost money or lost a deal or lost a partnership, how did you move on?
Well, how about this? My first ever deal I did with Gene, ever deal that we did, him and I together, I lost 50 G's.
Wow.
On my fucking mistake.
What happened?
It was a Friday night.
Okay.
It was one of those bang bang deals. Hey, I can get this deal. It's in Tamarack. It's awesome. Go look at it. I was 2 weeks in the business. He knew I was hungry. He knew that I would have dropped. I'm cool with dropping everything to go look.
Okay.
I did it. But guess what? It was dark. It was 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. So I went inside, bro. Camilla, the house was gorgeous. Like the tile was beautiful. Everything inside was beautiful. And I'm like, man, we were hitting it. It was on the golf course. I remember the address to this day, 8265 Casilla Terrace, right? And that was 19 years ago. So guess what? I never walked around the outside of the house. There was a huge structural crack. In the back of the house, right?
Okay.
Now, when I was walking in it, I felt like it was a little, but I didn't know enough yet.
Okay.
Right? Really simple. That was a real simple end to a business relationship, right?
Yeah.
Real simple. Gene was like, go fly a kite.
Yeah.
If he would have said that, no one would have faulted him.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that never happened. We worked it out. We ended up doing enough deals in that couple months to cover the loss, and we moved forward. We marched forward, and it was like we took the loss. Luckily it wasn't we didn't take the loss all at once. It happened over like 8 or 9 months, so it was a little easier to absorb.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that was my first ever real estate deal.
Wow, that's
first
crazy.
ever real estate deal. I lost 50 G's.
And I feel that those losses are big, huge learning lessons and big seminars. I take it like that was a huge seminar. What did you learn from it? Like that's never gonna happen.
Walk around the outside.
Exactly. That's do your proper inspection, right?
No, yeah. I mean, listen. The reality of the matter is the lesson that I learned from that is probably a little stronger than that. Is when you're 23, 24 years old and you're just hungry. I mean, you can get steered. You're like a bull, like you drag you anywhere, right? Because you're just trying to achieve something, And the truth of the matter is I don't do anything that makes my gut say, because that night I was there going, man, I shouldn't be the one making this decision, but I want to make everyone happy, so I'm going to make this decision. You know what I mean? And I felt uneasy about it. And I think the biggest mistake wasn't even not walking around the house and saying I didn't walk around the house. I didn't even know to do it. But the biggest mistake was me not saying I don't feel right about this. Right? So that's a huge thing I learned is man, I trust my gut, man. Anytime I feel uneasy about something, I will put the brakes on it. Listen, I mean, we're lucky enough where I mean, if I pass, some of the best deals we've done are the deals we didn't do.
Yeah.
right? Like you pass on it.
Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, in 10 years, that puts me at 52, and I'm done. You know, I'll have all my rentals paid off. I'll be in a position where both my kids will be in college. One or two of them, if not both, are going to be playing collegiate sports. So we'll be following them around, watching them. You know, retirement in a sense that I'm just done. I can be done, but I probably will still do some stuff and still get my hands and stuff. But in terms of the market, every cycle is 10 years. So we're probably in the similar cycle that we are right now in 10 years. And, you know, it's just riding a wave again and understanding where you're at. But yeah, 10 years seems like a long time, but it's not a long time. And if you think about that, your daughter will be 12, the age my daughter is right now. Yeah. And that's crazy, right?
That's awesome, man. Hey, this guy's super busy. I told you guys he was going to be short and sweet. I promised these guys he was going to be short and sweet. He's Angelo from Banconi. He's also an expert, and he's a TV star.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on, you are. I saw you on TV, so I got to say that. On Flip Wars, right?
Yep.
That was an awesome show. If you guys can get it on demand or whatever, Xfinity or whatever, check him out and his partner. That was great, man. Thank you so much for your time. If you like these deal makers, subscribe below. If you like the Shit Happens episodes, it's gonna be on Friday. Subscribe below as well. And brother, thank you so much for your help. Thank you for your friendship, and thank you for all the advice, man. I've been in business for about 10 years. I met you about 10 years ago when I was just doing my first deal. And I haven't told you this, but I started my rental portfolio because 1 or 2 conversations that we had. So appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate your friendship, and I'll see you next time, brother.
Awesome, man. See you.
Thank you, my man. Take care, guys.